angry and mean and call you names? I mean, what's going on over there?
I've been told the toughest thing is village politics because you're constantly highly visible to your constituency every day. I work in Lower Port, and people, I think what we need to do is listen to what the people are, the real message that people are trying to deliver to us. And I'm happy to be here today because this conference is all about growth, sustainability, economic development, and that's what we should be focusing on. Providing that growth and giving them the answers and working together as engineers, architects, developers, elected officials. That's what today is about, and I think we need to embrace the election. It's behind us, and we need to move forward. So I'm ready to move forward.
And Mr. Trachtenberg, down on the end, you've got a lot. You've got the Nassau villages. Are you hearing up from your mayors? What's going on that end?
Well, first of all, thank you, Joy, for recognizing me. I think the best way to answer that, let me try and put it in perspective. Today's meeting is essentially about local governments. This is not the federal government here this morning. This is not the state government. But it's the federal and the state governments with their inability to do the job right that's filtering down to the local governments. And that's a shame, because I found most village officials, and I can't speak for the town official, but most village officials are doing the job. By law, first of all, we have to have balanced budgets. By law, we generally don't have deficits. By law, we have to have budgets in place by May 1st. If a tentative budget is put up by a village in February and it's not voted on by May 1st, it automatically becomes the budget. If that was a law up in Albany, we would have been having the problems that we're having. With that all being said and done, it's the bottom line is that village officials are doing the job. We only represent 2% of the entire real estate burden of the state of New York. And there, again, there's very few deficits, there's budgets in place and whatever. So I would sum it up by simply saying that, and there are a lot of mayors in this room here today. I can't speak for the Suffolk County village officials. They represent 32 villages. We represent 64. Villages bring stability to Long Island because, again, we all have road jobs that are in our budgets. Even though we get no stimulus money, we get nothing but agita from Albany. And when it's all over and said and done with, we're doing it on our own. So that's all I have to say at this point, Joy. Thank you.
Joy, can I weigh in on this?
Go for it. Go.
I have to weigh in at this point. We're town of Riverhead, and you know, as an elected official, and I think most people on the dais here will agree, jobs, jobs, jobs. We should be creating jobs. We should be renewing downtown areas, urban blight, to create the jobs. Nobody wants urban sprawl or anything like that. But I have to say, you know, the people are angry. They may be angry for a variety of reasons. But my issue is this. We're the small town of Riverhead. As some of you have seen in previous encounters with me in large groups, the town of Riverhead was audited by the EPA twice this past year. We're waiting for the final reports. To my knowledge, no other town in the state of New York was audited by the EPA twice. We received $3.5 million in economic stimulus money. It has been the most difficult thing for us to administer. And I have to tell you, there's a part of me that says this. It might have been better for me to just fund the rail spur than to take this economic stimulus money. They have threatened to withdraw it. They have threatened to stop the project. The original project had to be ended, had to be done on a certain date in November, and we were not able to meet that deadline. And then you fast forward to Grangeville Park in downtown Riverhead, $750,000 grant approved by the state of New York probably 10 years ago. That's how long it took the town to move the grant forward. We got audited by the New York State DOT, an unannounced audit, the same day the federal government was auditing the rail spur. Now, we're a small town. I only have a couple engineers. I can't put them in both places at once. The rail spur requires 2 full-time employees of the town of Riverhead for an entire year to work that project.
Why don't you tell people a little bit more about the rail spur?
The rail spur was economic stimulus money at the Grumman, EPCAL or Grumman. There used to be an old rail spur, came off the main line of the Long Island Railroad. we received $3.5 million to replace it in kind. Now, there's some things about it that need to be tweaked to make it really work for the EPCAL project. We started it, it was great. Congressman Bishop was wonderful to get this for us, and it's a good project, but the implementation has been so difficult for us. You have to remember, we're a town that we came out of we tried to reclaim our landfill, and it cost us an additional, I don't know, $30 million that we shouldn't have spent. So we're kind of gun shy about signing these big checks now. And so it's very difficult as a small town to sit here and say, get the economic stimulus, get the grant money, and then have the EPA, the DOT, on the state and federal level start auditing us. You become a little gun shy. So we need
Well, but
help.
not everybody's had that experience. I want to talk to you about Ski Mountain, because I like saying Ski Mountain. And I want to talk about Lighthouse Light, because I like saying Lighthouse Light. But before we do that, now, in the village of Glen Cove, you guys got some federal stimulus money as well, right? City of Glen Cove. Told you I was on drugs.
We're
Sorry.
Long Island's oldest city. Glen Cove is very busy these days. I've been listening to the conversation up here, and I feel everyone's pain. You know, being a local government official anytime is difficult because you're right there with your constituents. But in these difficult times, there's an angry electorate out there. I think that what people realizing that, you know, in Glen Cove, I know I can keep architects busy, I can keep engineers busy, I can keep landscape architects busy. I have water projects, park projects, open environmental projects. I can keep everyone busy. I just don't have the funding. And we rely on our federal and state partners to help us besides our own capital programs. And we've been successful. We have the $11 million that came in for the stimulus money for the ferry, waterborne improvements, which is in construction. Cedar Swamp Road Corridor Project, which was a county and Glen Cove study, is nearing completion. That went from Nassau County Capital to stimulus because it was shovel-ready. We have state funds coming in and federal funds for public safety, speed boxes, security cameras. We're doing so many different things. And we've also framed all this by our recently adopted master plan and zoning. So we've set up smart growth principles for our future development. So we're firing on all cylinders. I think there's what I've known a long time since I've been here is that there's no Democratic Republican way to plow snow and pick up garbage, and people don't want political answers to things. They want our leaders to lead and get out of their way and create jobs. And like I said, I can keep people busy just rebuilding my infrastructure. There's so much to do, and some of it's underground. A lot of the sexy stuff that people want to see is above ground, but the important stuff's underground: the water distribution system, the sewers, the lights, the parks, all the things that make quality of life